There is new information tonight that could connect two teenagers on two different continents. The first is the 18-year-old student in Finland who slaughtered 8 people at a high school last week and then killed himself. The second, a 14-year-old outside Philadelphia who admitted to plotting a school attack of his own. Dylan Kosi says he had chatted online with the Finnish killer discussing the 1999 Columbine massacre. But he also says through his lawyer that he was horrified by the killer's attack and never expected him to go through with any violent plans. That lawyer is with us now, David Farrell from Philadelphia. How much contact did they have, and did this guy tell your client that he was about to murder a bunch of people at school?
They had contact for approximately 6 to 8 weeks, and according to my client, there was no indication from Mr. I believe his name is Yen, of any criminal intention on his part. My client simply was as surprised as anyone else that someone he had contact with online went ahead and committed a violent offense.
What did they communicate about?
They communicated about a shared interest they had in certain websites, which clearly were violent websites. I don't know the exact names. I can tell you that one of the topics was a shared interest in the Columbine massacre.
What kind of interest?
Well, like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of kids out there, they're fascinated by the events of Columbine.
Of course they are, and I've read from a lot of them today online who said how impressed they were with Harrison Klebold, how they were so impressed that they could do what they set out to do, that they did what they thought was right. Did your client feel that way?
No, I don't believe so. Certainly at this point, he has none of those sentiments. He's as horrified as anyone by the events that occurred in Finland as well as Columbine. My client was an infant when Columbine occurred.
Except that he was planning a school massacre of his own, if you believe the police.
Well, you know, your use of the term planning it's a little broad. My client admitted to soliciting another individual to commit a violent offense, but there was no planning behavior. There was no plotting per se.
Wait. He solicited other students to help him shoot up a school, right?
He had a discussion with another student about a violent offense.
Solicit was your word, not mine.
Solicit, you're correct. That was my word. That's the legal definition of what he admitted to.
That means that he went out and said, hey, would you help me shoot up this school for me? Is that right? And we're to believe that he didn't have that conversation with the Finnish shooter, but he did have conversations with him.
Well, you are to believe that because that's what I'm telling you. And if there's evidence that he had some other discussion with this Mr. Avignon of a very specific nature involving criminal intention, I haven't seen it, and I don't think I will see it.
David